What's the fallout from Friday's botched IPO of Bats Trading? Jacob Bungie joins us from Chicago, where he covers the commodities market for us. And Jacob, were some scalps taken?
Well, I mean, you could look at it that way. They had a trio of roles for their chief executive, Joe Ratterman. I mean, he is the CEO. He is and has been the chairman. He's also the president there at Bats. They decided yesterday, he's not going to have the chairman role going forward. That was a decision by the board. They backed him as CEO and president. So, you could look at this as one of the consequences. You'd had, people wondering what the fallout's going to be. They talked about, obviously, no bonuses are likely to be paid related to the IPO since it didn't happen. So this is definitely the most high-profile thing that's come down since the deal went bad for him on Friday.
And, the board expressed unanimous support for the CEO. So I guess the question is, are there any other big moves that may happen here, or is this sort of it? Are we now is Bats now just going to start recovering and just try to see if they can relaunch this IPO sometime soon?
Well, they've said that the logic for doing the transaction, if it made sense 2 weeks ago, it still makes sense 2 weeks from now. It's obviously a black eye for them, but the company's day-to-day business, that is, the trading of stocks and options, U.S. and Europe, that's remained in place. Their market share kind of moved up and down a little bit, not really out of line. So the business is sound. The listings business for them is probably, going to be a much tougher climb after what happened. But that wasn't something that anybody really expected to take off and make a lot of money for them.
Yeah, and Jacob, real quick, what have we learned in the past several days as to exactly what went wrong with the trading systems on Friday that caused the IPO to effectively collapse?
Well, the general sense is that they had done the pricing of the deal the night before, and then when they put the stock into live trading, from what I understand, there wasn't an order book that was put out there, if you will. It was hard for market makers to make prices on it because they didn't have a lot of sense of where it had been prior to the open, and so there wasn't the liquidity there. And then you saw there was some trades on NASDAQ. It went down pretty sharply, and then they halted it altogether. So they call it a software bug. It's obviously a problem for an exchange to have that sort of issue hit them. Their first IPO ever on their own market, a corporate issue. And they deemed it, I think, a material event, as they called it. And, you saw the direction that they ended up going, withdrawing the IPO.
Got it. All right, Jacob, thanks very much for bringing us up to speed. A lot more certainly to come.